Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're discussing high-performance business development with Rod Santomassimo. He is founder and president of the Massimo Group here in Studio One. And Rod, one of the things that seems to be one of the most productive ways for business development is the age-old sales call. I guess that some people hate to take or hate to get, actually, and hate to make. So what are some tips for people to make better sales calls?
Sure. Number one, there's never a wrong time to make a sales call. It's amazing how many excuses I've heard on why you can't make a phone call over a certain time, right? No doubt about it. Why?
So no certain time of day that's better or worse?
I'm an avid reader, voracious reader on prospecting. It's never been proven one time is better than another. Now, some emails are open at certain times versus others, no doubt about that. Saturday morning's a great time for email, by the way. But email is not prospecting.
Right.
Email is not prospecting. That's not prospecting. Okay. Sales calls, there's no science to it, but just do it. However, if you're going to make sales calls, or when you make your sales calls, who are you calling? And just don't say, I'm going to open my CRM, my database, and start going through your list. That's a huge mistake. Have your list in front of you and know who you're going to call. I believe in call blasts. I think call blasts are the most effective way to make sales calls, where you turn everything off except potentially your CRM, and you have your list of people that you're going to call for half an hour, and you know who you're going to call. There's a common theme to those messages, and you have your value proposition, your message ready to go. So there's no winging it during sales calls. And so if you connect and you have a conversation, yes, send an email, send a follow-up, but only after your blast is over. Get the blast through first and foremost. That's the key. So know your message, have a common audience, allocate specific time you're going to call. I have a timer when I call. I called this past Friday night at 5 o'clock. I said, I'm going to call 10 people before I go home. And you know what? I connected with 8 of them.
Nice.
8 of the 10 people. And 4 of them was good news for us.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. So I love the rule, one more call before you go home, just one more call. Try it.
Yeah. That's great. And you mentioned turning things off. So when you're making these, you called it call blasts?
Yes.
So so you're saying you can schedule those in your schedule? And
Absolutely.
Then what do you turn off?
You turn everything off. And I mean everything. Emails, cell phones, everything is turned off. There's no distractions. Some folks like using a mirror, seeing how they're looking, if they're positive. Standing up is a great exercise.
I don't think the mirror
around.
helped me.
Well, it will show if you're frowning or if you're energized or not. That's the key, right?
Maybe you want to get to the gym.
Well, maybe. But you stand up, you walk around. It shows you have more energy when you make a phone call.
Yeah.
Your ethos, in that sense, your energy that you put forth in a call is so much more important than what you say. People don't recognize that. It really is.
Yeah, because all they're hearing is your voice, right? They're not seeing your face. They're not seeing your expression. They're not seeing your body language at all. It's really just your voice. It's like being on the radio. When I first got on the radio, they said, Mike, you can't talk like this, like you might be able to talk to someone in person. You got to sound a little more excited because that's all they're hearing, right?
Well, you're always excited to be Michael, so I got
Right.
so yes, your voice will come through and they'll get an impression of that alone.
Yeah. And then you mentioned that there's no bad time, but then you just mentioned that you made some calls late Friday. So is there a certain day that's better?
Again, haven't found one day versus another. I've found excuses for every. You tell me a time that you think you're going to call, I'll tell you an excuse I heard why you can't call that time. I hear them all.
Right.
So just make the calls. Sure, look, Saturday morning, some folks are in the office trying to get some work done. There's no doubt about it. Friday night, a lot of the owners, decision makers are still in the office. They are.
Yeah.
And great time to reach them as well.
Yeah, I've had good success calling between 5 and 7 because a lot of successful people are still working and they're not as busy, and the gatekeepers are sometimes
Absolutely
gone.
True.
And one of the things that I think my listeners are curious about too, as we're talking about sales calls, or kind of opening lines, kind of getting a call started, the first things that they hear. Because I know when I get calls and they ask me how I'm doing, someone asks me that doesn't know me how I'm doing, I just think, why would I tell you how I'm doing? Well, my back hurts. Why are you even asking me?
I love that you said that. I just finished a book called Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount. Give the guy credit. Really, really good book. But one thing he says in there is, never ask the question, ever, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is you're allowing an interruption.
Yeah.
So in that process, and the way he allocates, the call should go is, introduce yourself, give your phone number twice. Tell them exactly why you're calling. Don't ask the questions. Don't give them an opportunity to speak. And it should only last 15, 20 seconds. And then give your number again if it's a voicemail, for example.
Right.
If not, then absolutely don't ask that question. Is this a good time to talk? How you doing?
Right.
You know what they're going to say, right?
Right, yeah.
No, I'm busy.
Yeah, you're kind of opening it up for them to object. And when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I'm like, I don't even know you.
Right.
I mean, so if you knew me, you'd know I'm just great. So what about the rest of the beginning of the call? Because it seems like it's very important right from the start to get their attention and know, hey, why are you calling me? Why does it benefit me, right?
Sure. So if there should be a reason, and that's the word. What's the benefit of the call to the person you're speaking to, right? To the prospect. What's the benefit to the prospect? So, well, I'd say the purpose of the call is, the reason I'm calling is, and the key word for us, we find, the non-threatening yet open word in this world is share. To share with you the following.
I like that.
Right. To share with you that one of your neighboring tenants just renegotiate their lease and the impact it may have on you. Or XYZ law firm just did the following and the impact it may have on you. Right? So share that information, get their attention right away. That's the key. You have to get their attention right away and get them involved. That attention involvement message has to be there, or you're just a salesperson. It's all about you, and they don't really worry about you, they worry about themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that word share, because that just has great connotations, right? Mm-hmm. What about prior to the call, the reach to them? Should you consider a snail mail or an email that kind of hit them before you make that call, or just call?
Well, no, Michael, I've been on the show before. You know I preach this. We preach this with our clients.
Yeah.
We know this works. We have thousands upon thousands of iterations. Now look at all the numbers. We know the formula works. So it is important to have a presence before you prospect. It makes it so much easier. When you hear, never heard of you, or who are you? Ooh, that's going to be a tough call. It really is.
Yeah.
So what you can provide for them to build that presence, the reason for your call. People don't believe in snail mail. They're crazy. Snail mail works. When positioned correctly, snail mail absolutely works. Even if they just see your name and throw out your material, it doesn't matter. They saw your name. It absolutely works. So I do believe to create a presence to leverage the prospecting effort. Okay.
And can some of that presence be in the form of an email that you shoot to them maybe right before you make the call?
Absolutely. It could be a day before, or 2 days before, not the day of generally. Yeah. Although I have seen this work. I'm not going to say names. We have someone that will send out emails in the morning to their call list. Hey, I need to talk to you about the following. Mm-hmm. Give me a call at, right? Mm-hmm. And it works. These prospects will call this person during their prospecting time, right? One-line email. Hey, I need to talk to you about the following. Please give me a call at X, right? And the prospects call them. It works sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's good if you can get the phone to ring that way. One of the things that I don't seem to like when I get cold called, is when the first thing they ask me, they say who they are, and they say, "Did you get my email?" I mean, is that wrong to do?
Completely wrong. Okay. Completely wrong. Because that means then you're leveraging. It's a crutch.
Yeah.
The material you sent.
Yeah.
And if you have to depend on the material you sent, then you really don't have a reason to call.
Yeah.
So you can refer to it later on, certainly. But I wouldn't say, did you get this? Did you get it? If they say no, are you going to stop the call and hang up?
Right. I want to say, yeah, I got your spam that you sent to thousands of people, and I didn't look at it.
Right. Exactly.
So you just told me that you've also spammed me, right?
Right, exactly. I love that.
All right. Well, we're going to take a short break. We're going to get back with Rod Santomassimo about some more high-performance business development. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. Stay with us. Hey there, thanks for checking out the Commercial Real Estate Show. Don't miss a video of special interest to you. Be sure to subscribe below. And if you appreciate the videos, be sure and thank our sponsors. There's a link to more information about them in the description. For more videos, podcasts, and articles, check out creshow.com.